A big welcome back to New Sounds Union, your favourite place to discover new music and get to know some of the interesting folk making it. I'm your dashing host, Tim Thackeray, and on this episode we will be joined by indie four-piece The Glowworms, who will be discussing the life of a transatlantic band. But first, it's time to pick out a couple of tracks from the New Sounds Union Substack and give them another spin. First up is Jeremy Tuplin and his latest single, Passing Through the Western Lagoon. Jeremy has been making inventive folk rock for the past decade, and this is a sprawling 6-minute statement of intent, which hugs the listener with soaring strings and ambient waves of guitar. Let's hear a little bit now.
Baby, I'll take you down to Burnham, but you never been to Western. Bet you never been to Western. Up on the sphere, watch it all begin. Eyelids lift eyes like they're tied to string. Emotions unseared.
Next is Hit by Canada Hill, which, like the World Cup track we featured last episode, also has an exclamation point in its title. It's like we're back in 2004, and I'm all for that. When we interviewed Canada Hill on the Substack earlier this year, they said that music should be engaging and to the point, filled with emotion and character. And this thrilling single ticks all of those boxes. Play it loud now. If you like the sound of those, you'll find plenty more recommendations at newsoundsunion.substack.com. You can subscribe for free to get weekly emails delivered directly to your inbox. Okay, the time is now. It's the headline act of this week's episode, The Glowworms. Based between London and LA, they began releasing music and playing gigs in London in early 2024. And say their style sits on the axis between stories and hymns, between the organic and distortion. I saw them play live early this year and loved their eclectic style, as well as the vibes of Death Cab for Cutie or fellow LA rockers Doors. So, first up, let's listen to a little clip of East Bay, open brackets, ships in the, close brackets, which is a song title that probably works better on paper. Here it is. Hello and welcome, the Glowworms, to New Sounds Union, the podcast. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves and what you do in the band, that would be lovely.
I'm Cass. I just joined recently, and I'm a pianist, keyboard player, and thinking of doing some violin in the future, maybe.
I'm Dove. I sing and play guitar and steel guitar in the band.
I'm Sam. I just play the drums.
Lovely. And then there's one more member who's not here today as well.
There's two more.
Yeah.
And one of them had a show with another band, and one of them we could not successfully pry away from the Chelsea match. I don't know, man.
Oh yes, yeah. At time of recording,
typical bassist behavior. Honestly,
as a fellow bassist, that hits me hard. But you know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Too close to the bone, maybe. But yeah, so George plays bass and sings as well, and then Jordan is our lead guitarist and slide.
You bill yourselves as a base between London and LA, which is definitely one of the kind of the cooler sentences I've said on the podcast. But yeah, kind of maybe tell me what does that actually entail? I know you're obviously.
It sounds much more glamorous than it is. We're
just back and forth.
All the time.
Like, we're just,
So what that actually means at this stage is that I'm originally from LA. That's where I grew up. And when I go home to like visit my family and whatnot, I always try to like get on a show or something with friends back home. And the only reason we have that sentence up is like we just don't want to seem ineligible from booking in either place and be like, oh, we're strictly London based or we're this or that. So, but in reality, it's not like we're,
it's nice to be open, and you never know, the offers might, down the line come in, and then it's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, lovely. So yeah, tell me a bit about how the band formed then, and I suppose when did you come over to London yourself, Dov?
So for me, I would have moved here about, I want to say 2.5 years ago. So, or actually almost 3 years now, because it would have been September of 22. And so yeah, it's been a little while now. And then I met Sam, and me and Sam played in a couple other projects before. And I just always got on well with him. And then one summer, I think summer of 23, I went home and I was starting to write some new songs, and I was really excited about it. And then I got back. I remember this really well because I got back and I was like, I'm going to ask Sam to hang out, and I'm just going to like try to pitch him on this project and like recruit him into this thing.
It's a tricky initial conversation. Do you want to be in the band?
And I was like, and then that was that. And he didn't really have any qualms about it at all. Actually, he was like,
no, it was good. Dove just came over to. I just moved into a new flat. Dove came over to the flat. We sat on like the roof there.
Yes,
and he played like all the tracks he'd been working on, and I was like, this is pretty good. And yeah, so then we were like, we started after that, and then George joined as well.
Yeah, it was originally me, Sam, and George. And then Cass literally did her first show with us like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I think when I saw you only a month or so ago, you were a 4-piece, or as much as I knew.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, do you want to talk about what that's been like?
To be honest, it's been like the most organized thing ever. Duff runs a very tight ship. Yeah, you just sent me the Google Drive, had all the music and stuff, and I just freaking learned it and then joined the band.
Nice, easy as that. And I think it's good to be organised, because I think bands often get a reputation, or usually there's only one person in the band who's organised, which might be the case here. But yeah, it's nice that you've...
It varies, but I try to, just because it was, I really wanted to make, I was like, these songs are such a mess, I gotta make Cass's life a little bit easier. So I made chord sheets and stuff, and then we put a thing up on our socials a while ago that we were looking for a keys player, and then a lot of people got back to us, but we all knew Cass already, and so we were like, oh great, we really want to work with Cass. So
to be honest, I was about to not reply to that story.
Dude, imagine if you didn't. Yeah.
And then my life changed.
So obviously you bonded over kind of, the music you were very much making and writing yourself. But were there any kind of touch points or bands that you've kind of bonded over? Definitely.
There's like a very identifiable kind of like
set.
Like, yeah.
Not influence is maybe the wrong word, but like set of groups that kind of chime with.
I mean, it changes all the time.
Yeah,
it's ever expanding. But yeah, I mean, I think it was like in the beginning, I had kind of, after like a few years of kind of going away from it, I had gotten back to just writing stuff, without producing it at the same time. And I wanted to go back to kind of more like classic or simplistic form of songwriting and challenge myself that way. So that would be drawing from people that my parents loved, like John Prine or Townes Van Zandt or people like that. And I think that kind of folky thing, and then its modern counterparts like really made its way in. Like me and Sam bonded initially over, it was a lot of Big Thief and like associated side projects with that, and it was a lot of like I don't know, who else would you say?
I mean, like Dinosaur Jr. a bit as well for like
Yeah,
the heavier,
for the heavier shit, yeah.
stuff, and yeah, I don't know, any that's slightly kind of country tinged folk, kind of things.
Broken Social Scene.
Yes,
has
yeah,
been, like,
yeah.
a big-
Yeah. So in my intro, I meant, because when I heard you, I definitely got vibes of Death Cab for Cutie. Who were one of my
I mean,
favorite
that's very kind.
Very
That's very
kind.
generous. Yeah. We'll take
and
it.
then also another LA band, I think they're from LA, Doors, Dawes, which is
I don't know.
check them out.
We
Yeah,
gotta
I
get
think
it.
you'd
We're
enjoy
right
them.
got it.
Write it down. Write it down. We gotta get on that. Yeah.
Do you think that will always be kind of the songs, and maybe, I suppose simplistic is, it's an accurate word, but it's definitely not a demeaning word, but kind of the songs are, even as you become a 5-piece and, you know, maybe become a 6-piece in the future, it will always kind of, that will be the focus, and kind of the ethos of the band is kind of the song has to be at the heart of it.
The song definitely has to be there and is a priority for us. And also, this is the first band or project that I've been a part of where it was like, because initially it was just me writing the stuff, but recently Sam's been writing a bunch of stuff for the project. Like, it's been coming from everyone, and it's really fun to bring it in to a rehearsal before we even think about producing it, and then it kind of all flows that way. And then I don't know. And then recently it causes me to write stuff and think about like making it fun to play live. And that is really, I find that really rewarding too. And it's just so they don't like, I'm like, in the best way, I'm like, I just want to do something exciting for the next rehearsal to just kind of like inject some new gas in from me too, but for everyone. And then like, but like, because Cass, you've only been with us for a sec, but like we've rehearsed the same set so many times.
Yeah, it's been the same, like up until like a couple months ago. It's
Yeah.
been the same like 6 or 7 songs for a year and a half, pretty much, or something, something like that. Which has been great. Like, I love the songs.
They get really tight, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were sounding great when I heard you, and that there will always be that element of being in a band, is because, yeah, working on new stuff is incredibly fun, and sometimes you just want to go to practice and do that, but then if you've got a gig next week, you kind of need to play the set.
Yeah, exactly. It's always going to feel a little bit more exciting, I guess.
so we try to do it, and then we just been writing together a lot, which has been really fun. But yeah, I think like it's because me and I mean really all of us to a degree, but especially me, Sam, and George are kind of producers first. I don't want to say but I would say that before. And so that's always that's always like a big thought in the process. It's like impossible for us to write something without thinking, oh, how would I want to
what's like
this or record
what's
this,
like
you know?
the recording going to sound like.
But I think we've kind of embraced that versus completely
definitely.
divorcing the processes. We try to like fuse them.
Yeah. And is that way of thinking, has that become because you kind of you've studied in producing, or you've kind of just actively, I suppose, if you've been making bedroom music, you're from the off thinking about, you know, how everything sounds on record?
Yeah, I mean, all three, like Dove and George and I all study like production at uni, like at the moment, which is where we are currently.
That's where we're literally at the studio at our uni right now.
Yeah. So it's from that, and also just, I mean, but then it's this spending quite a long time on YouTube when you're like 14, learning it all.
Cass is the only person who is good enough to study like an instrument at uni, and all of us, you know, basically study GarageBand, basically. Yeah.
A good one to study. So what is it, Cass, that you were studying?
Oh, I'm studying jazz vocals.
Jazz vocals?
Yeah,
What?
it's quite. Yeah.
So is that
not
what
very
it sounds like, as
much.
in literally the voice and the singing of jazz? Yeah.
Yeah, so I study like scat and improvisation and singing.
Oh, blimey.
Which is why I was really hesitant to join the band, but I thought that I wanted to expand and play the keys because might as well. Innit?
Well, yeah, and it sounds like
She's incredible at keys too, which was like, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine if you're studying kind of jazz and improv, you kind of have to be, don't you? Because it's about doing it on the spot.
I mean, it's like music theory, but this band is very like healing in a way. It's like it feels very like Dove makes an environment that's very just like
That's really kind.
everyone's just play and like offering ideas and like it's not like you have to play the exact right thing. He's just like do what you like. You actually said you're like I trust you, Cass, to come up with the
he gets mean after a bit.
Yeah, just give it time. Give it time.
Yeah. This is just the honeymoon period of being in a band. But I suppose that it does bring up a good point of, especially a project that has kind of originally maybe come from yourself, Dov, as a songwriter, to now there's 5 of you and people are bringing songs and you're bringing a song into the room and kind of seeing what happens. Because you can think in your head a song might be going in one direction and then you play it with 4 other people and then suddenly it's something else. So is that, well, I suppose it's exciting, but potentially just a learning curve as well in terms of as you enter this new era as a band and start writing together?
I mean, this is, to be totally honest, this is like the first band that I've played in too. And so I'm really figuring out, I'm totally figuring out that dynamic too. But the good thing, and I really mean this about especially about the current lineup that we have, and even we had a bunch of, it was a sort of changing lineup, but it was always me, Sam, and George at the core. But then with them and with Cass and with Jordan, it's like really got to the place where I really trust them, and we all kind of really trust each other, I think, because there's like an understanding about the mission and the kind of sound that we're going for. And there's also like, I also think we have a sort of like unspoken policy, which is like, if you brought in the tune, if you wrote the tune, then it's like we defer to you, and that's kind of that's applied for stuff that Sam's brought in, that's applied to stuff that I brought in. And no, I don't think people haven't had to pull that card much, but it's like but it is like, it is there as like a I don't know, like a fail safe. It's like, okay, Sam brought that tune in, so we're gonna like honor that.
It's like helpful if you get stuck on stuff as well, I guess.
Yeah,
if you're like not sure which, if it could like go in like several different ways, and then like
definitely.
you're not sure about one thing. It's quite nice to have a like fallback of like, oh yeah, no, that's what I was like imagining.
Yes, what the original thought was.
Yeah.
And then there seems to be a kind of a wistfulness sometimes to the lyrics. Obviously, you know, Dov, yourself, there's a literal geography between potentially people back home and then where you live now in England. But then also as you kind of grow up as well, and just, you know, everything that comes with being a young person. So, I mean, I suppose, are there any other common themes that you see, or kind of lyrics that you kind of keep coming back to in terms of themes, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the 2, singles that we have, because we really only been a band for about a year, and we put out these 2 songs, and it's like you're pretty on the money with those themes. It's like there's, I mean, one, they're both pretty much about moving away or leaving a place, or kind of, you know, East Bay, which is our most recent song we put out in November. That's kind of like a love letter to a place or like an area of Northern California where I spent a lot of time. And Cable TV, which was our first song, which is I wrote, that was what I showed Sam and George like years ago when we started it, or like a year and a half ago. But that was really about, that was kind of a vignette of just trying to sustain just a connection with someone long distance. And I don't even mean in a very traditional, like, trying to literally sustain a relationship, but just like the amount of effort and discernment required to like stay close with someone. It could be a partner, it could be a friend over like, and you don't live in the same place. But so that what Cable TV is kind of like, I don't know, it's like kind of like defiant. It's like, I don't care. I'll see you. Yeah, we're going to make it happen. But that, it's very wistful. But we're putting out some music soon that's written by Sam. We're putting out a double single next month, and the side A was written by Sam, and it's a lot more fun.
It's less wistful. I don't know if that makes it more fun though.
Wistful can be fun.
It totally can. And yet, I believe by the time this podcast will come out, that single or double A side should be out. So it's out June 11th, either way, to just make that super clear. So if we're past
Yeah,
June
awesome.
11th, you can find it. So yeah, Double O, so Trench Coat, which is kind of, a really rocky number. You mentioned Dinosaur Jr. earlier, and there's definitely hints of that and kind of other alt 90s bands in there. And then, complemented by, quite a pared back single, You Do Not Matter. So, what was the kind of, I suppose, the writing you've kind of touched upon before, but the recording process for those? Did you do those kind of in a local studio or how at home?
Well, for Trench Coat, You Do Not Matter is pretty much all Dove recording that at home.
Yeah.
Just kind of, he sent me the demo and it pretty much sounds like almost finished, and almost like the finished version does. And we got some guitar from Jordan. We went to Devon to do some recording back in when was it, like March?
End of last weekend of February,
Yeah.
early March.
Yeah, and we got some cello for it there because we were in this like big it was like a big living room kitchen kind of area, and it actually had like a really, really nice acoustic, and we brought down all our like recording stuff.
We did so many room mics for that.
Yeah, exactly. So the cello on the song is our friend Annie, and she's fantastic, and was playing on that. And then for Trench Coat, that's just like where did we do that?
Well, we did
All
the
over the
drums that one was really like piecemeal, because we did a lot of recording about a year ago at our friend Leon. He's a fantastic producer and songwriter. He has like a studio space in like Haringey, and we recorded most of, after this double single, there'll be an EP this summer. We recorded a lot of it there. And then it was kind of like we wanted the drums to be really consistent for Trench Coat too, but we didn't want to ask him to do another song with us because it was so full on. So we were like, can we just like come in early one morning and just do the drums for one song? And then we did those, and then we did guitars at mine, we did guitars at yours,
Yeah.
we mixed it at George's. It really like, Trench Coat was really like, it takes a village. And I mean, Cass joined like right after we sent away the masters, which is a shame because I would have loved to get her parts on it now. But
I'm gonna mime in the music video.
yes,
Nice.
yes,
I like that. And, it will mean that when people see you live, there's an extra element musically because there is keys or whatever else goes.
100%. Yeah,
It's actually nice. It's kind of brought it kind of closer back. My original like demo of it that I sent to Dove had like this keys part on it, which obviously we couldn't have and it actually isn't in the recording because it doesn't like, it didn't have a keys player, and now we've got it. And now we've got it in the live set for it. It feels really nice. It feels like it's kind of like
it really rounds out the song.
back.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that sounds exciting. And having listened to them, they're brilliant singles. So good luck with that. And you mentioned there's an EP coming later this year as well?
Yeah, I mean, if all things go to plan, it would be just later in the summer. And it's going to have both of those singles on it, and two new songs, which are fixtures in the live set. So if you saw us, the song that we open with is it's called Cali Park, and that'll be on there. And then there's another one called Hand that we haven't played in the live set in a while, but very near and dear to us. But it feels a bit silly doing an EP and then like half of it has already been out, but that's kind of, or so we're told, that's kind of just the game when you're small. It's like you really have to make the releases stretch.
Yeah, I'm increasingly seeing artists do that, and they'll release single, and then all those singles will maybe build up, and then eventually there will be a final EP. But I suppose, it hits a lot of boxes.
At the very least, people are getting two new things
completely.
when the EP comes out. So that's something.
I also think it sounds like it runs quite nicely as a
It's a
from a
different
like
experience.
1 to 5 on the EP. Like it's a nice way to like hear a nice kind of like summation of like everything that the stuff that we've been doing so far, I guess, in that order as well. I think it's a slightly different way to hear them.
Yeah.
Which is always nice, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of your piece of art that you're putting into the world, isn't it? I mean, I love singles and I like EPs, but I think that's why albums are so revered, because a good kind of track list on an album and kind of listening to it in one sitting can't be beaten sometimes. Well, let's hear a bit of that excellent single Trench Coat right now.
Crash your car. You said it's just about the perfect place to start. I stumble home. In truth, I'm just 3 kids clothed in.
All right, well, there you go. That was Trench Coat. So yeah, do check that out in all good streaming platforms, wherever you get it. Is it available in any physical form or not quite yet? No.
Not at the moment.
Yeah,
no.
that comes with
but
a
it is
whole-
available on if you prefer to decentralize from the DSPs, it'll be on Bandcamp, it'll be on Nina Protocol and all that good stuff.
Lovely. Yeah, gotta love Bandcamp, and yeah, that means you might actually make a little bit of money, which
Who knows?
doesn't
We'll
happen
see.
much as an emerging band.
Lightning could strike. Yeah.
So yeah, more new music coming later this year, which is really exciting. And then I suppose, are there any bigger ambitions for like an album maybe next year, or kind of ambitions in terms of maybe touring more that you've got on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, I think really it's such a young project that I like the name of the game for us is really just staying consistent with shows and promotion and releasing. But I mean, I don't want to speak for you two, but my thing is like, I want to go on tour. I want to go on tour like with this project, but we got to get there.
Yeah.
And that is it's going to be a lot of fun to get there, but that's where my head is at. And I think we have, in addition to this EP, we have a ton of music that we're sitting on that will hopefully just continue to come out after. And I think have been kind of talking to some folks about like sort of I guess where to start with looking at doing a tour and that kind of thing. I think as far as like a full length LP goes, it's something that we would really want to take our time doing while we're doing the EPs and the singles, and so that there is like a platform to receive it. But I mean, I can't wait. I love albums, and I want to do an album with this project for sure. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, no, just everything that you just said, pretty much.
Great.
Yeah, that's easy, isn't it?
Easy.
Yeah.
Sam wrote a tune recently, and we were like, album opener.
Yes.
That opener for the first LP.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll open that
We'll
project
see.
file up.
Yeah.
in a few
Yeah,
years or something.
exactly.
And then back to your gigs, you've obviously you're gigging on the London circuit predominantly at the moment. How have you found that, and have you kind of managed to find other kind of like-minded and bands that you like sharing bills with, etc., that you kind of do more shows?
I mean, I think that's been like incredibly rewarding, doing the gigs, and like this, a lot of times this online stuff can just not really feel very real, and so, but the gigs is so visceral and real that it's been great. I mean, I remember we pretty much started gigging on the scene here, like as Glowworms in January 24, like right after New Year's, and it was like pretty. I felt pretty immediately like there were places for us to play, there were bills for us to get on, and every time we played, we would just meet more bands that can like really inspired us, and really, I don't know. I think I grew to feel like a kind of kinship with other bands that are on the scene, and we continue to, I think. But like from the jump, like Tim and the people at the Windmill have been super kind to us, and we've played there like way too many times, but it's been lovely. I love playing there.
Yeah,
and
it's lovely venue.
Just kind of connecting with other bands that are on the scene, and I think we really hit our stride with gigs like starting in this past fall.
Yeah, from around September onwards, we've been doing a lot, and the sets felt really good, and it's felt like kind of everyone's like knowing what they're doing, and like it all kind of clicks together in a way that not that it hadn't before.
No, but
like,
yeah,
even more so. I guess.
The gears really
It's been fun.
clicked, and like it was cool to see the reactions from people, and people connecting with it. And I don't know. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I think London is like a really great town for having that underground circuit and like promoters and venues that are just there for you. And it's yeah, it's been really rewarding in that sense. But like um I love playing live, and I want to do, as much as we possibly can of that. I don't know. Cass has done one show with us so far, but like,
Was it at the
hopefully-
Windmill?
That was not. That was
Ah, there you
actually
go.
In North
out of
London.
character. It was deep North London
Oh,
Yeah.
call.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Which is good because that's where I'm from. So
Again, for kind of up and coming artists, I think, yeah, the live show will always be important. You might meet new people at the gig, make new fans, but then there is that balancing act of a lot of people are online. So how do you feel about the socials that you have to do and kind of marketing yourself in that digital world as well?
So good.
Sam
great.
loves it. Sam loves it. Yeah.
It's really. I don't know. I think I've like quite enjoyed all the stuff that we've actually done, like for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the, because I feel like
Wait,
a
that's
lot of
really.
it's
I
just-
actually didn't know that. That's good. To know.
I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of it's like
it's so surprising. I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
that.
Well, as in like all the videos and stuff are quite fun to make.
Yeah.
Like and to be fair, Dove runs the Glowworms Instagram account.
That's
I
true,
don't
yeah.
do that, so I don't have to deal with that stuff. But any of those, so I guess it's just the more like fun things that
I'm actually really glad to hear that.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, like Sam is saying, like my litmus test for doing stuff online is like, do I either like enjoy this, or does this have like artistic merit in it of itself, not just as like a means for promo? It's got to be one or the other, ideally both. But and then I think if you everything you do online, if it kind of goes through that litmus test, then you'll be all right. I think you run into trouble where it's like you see things that other people are doing or trends or this or that, and then you like feel like, okay, that's what I have to do. That's the graft. That might be maybe a quicker path, but I think we're basically what I'm trying to do is like have the visuals and have the content that comes out be something that we put care into, not as much as the music, but that there's a like a very sincere amount of care going into it, and that if there's not, then it's just like completely for fun and just a joke.
Yeah.
And then if we do that, then we should be okay. But obviously, yeah, you can't ignore that side of it. And I also knew when I started it that I didn't want to just be a band that like played on the scene for forever and just kind of hope for something to change. I want to grow it and have it reach places. So
Yeah, and you've got to be proactive in that sense. But I think you're really true, and it's echoes what other people have said. It is that world building. So like when people click on your Instagram page or visit your website, like, oh,
Exactly.
this is very much Glowworms. They're not confronted with something that feels out of sync with the music you're making, and I think that can help, because people like to buy merch and all of that, so they kind of invest not only
totally.
actual money but also just invest themselves into your band. So I think
Yeah.
you've got to give people something to like hold on to,
Yep.
put aside from the music, because it's it's like anyone, at least with the music that I really like, it's like partly because you like feel in like a community with the people around you and the people that like similar music to you, like all of that kind of thing, and you want to just I guess like help that along like as much as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, like you said, world building is like, that was really one of the main things that I wanted to try and nail down when I started the project. We work with this one artist on a lot of our kind of illustrations and our graphics.
nice. Yeah.
Really been trying to curate like a really strong visual identity that goes along with our sound, and like just doing things that hopefully kind of invite people in to be part of a community versus being really austere and kind of like reclusive. So things like, I don't know, I want there to be like lore, I want there to be like, I want people to feel invited to come and learn more about the space.
Your catchphrase "worm or die."
Yeah, this is
Worm or die. It stuck with me before I joined the band. Like I knew it because I was like worm or die.
Worm or die, yeah. I mean, it's an aggressive statement.
It's an aggressive statement. Little bit of context here. It's like an old American Revolutionary flag, and Benjamin Franklin drew it, and he was like, "This should be the flag of the U.S." And it's like a picture of a snake chopped into a bunch of pieces, and it says "Join or die."
Ah.
And it just looks sick, and it doesn't have
Sounds
any
insane.
like alt-right connotations or anything like that. I just want to get that out of the way. Right
Yeah.
But it's because when I showed it to Sam, he was like, "Wait, that looks kind of."
It was like, let me just check this isn't a Confederate flag.
So
Good to check.
all this to say, I sent it to the artist, and I was like, "Do you think I love the way this flag looks? Maybe we could do something kind of like this with the worm." But I think there was like a bit of a mix-up because then he just basically parodized the flag, but it's with worm or die instead. We bring it to gigs sometimes, but I ended up really loving it, and I thought it was kind of fitting because it's sort of the same way we're sort of doing a mutation of some kind of Americana sounds with it's very acoustic, it's very lap steel, very steel guitar. It's like we liked that a lot, and it just felt really fun, and so.
It's memorable for sure.
Thanks. That's gonna be what the first EP is called, basically, and the flag became like kind of the touch point for us, and there's all these stickers that we sold that have that on it, but and that's kind of all part of the, I guess the world building a little bit.
Yeah, well, inadvertently you found a bandmate. It stuck with Cass, and
the marketing worked.
I was a fan, and then
and I think more bands should have flags. But
yeah, I agree.
For real. Yeah.
Lovely. So every episode we do ask, and you've given lots of I suppose it's just interesting here how every band approaches both creative stuff and also the marketing side of stuff. But if there was one piece of advice, or several, that you'd give other emerging artists, people maybe who are just starting out, do you have any pearls of wisdom?
Sam's got all this. I always go to Sam for the wisdom.
Yeah. Oh, believe me.
Yeah.
It's. Oh, I don't know. Like meet people. Like go to shows and talk to people. Not in a like. I'm trying, like just in a like making friends.
Yes, way. Yeah.
Like just rather than going to shows and meeting people and immediately asking if they can for support slots around.
Yeah. It's really hard.
Yeah. Feel like people are generally resistant to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be the main thing, because I mean I was I've been playing and making music for years, and I never really knew anyone that did the same thing, like at school or anything like that, until I came to uni here, and then like now it's the only thing I do, and I like know all the all my friends like make music and all that kind of thing.
Nice.
And like that, that's purely. I feel like that is just the most. Maybe it is kind of an obvious thing, but I feel like it's the most important thing, probably. What about Dove? You got some
wisdom?
Yeah.
I just want to say that was great. First of all,
thank you. Yeah.
I think, and this is just something I gotta like tell myself all the time. Just like stop deeping things, and that's like my biggest cross to bear when making music, because it's like you just have to preserve like forward motion and momentum, and instead of kind of always deeping the things that you're doing or second guessing or whatever, it's a lot better. And that's why I'm so like plan oriented and deadline oriented, because it's like then it's out of my hands. It's like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah. You've got to make that.
It was happening here, and you have to tell people about it. This song is coming out here, and you have to finish it by then. And it's done. It's done because it's coming out. Like it hasn't reached like the song version of Nirvana. It's just done and it's coming out. Yeah, just like, because when you're writing stuff and it's your stuff and you care a lot about it and you're kind of offering it up every day for people, just go easy on yourself, because otherwise you're just going to be destroyed like every day.
Mm.
Just, but if you just let it be,
It is
not
what
that
it
deep,
is.
yeah,
Yeah,
you'd
so kind of
be all right. Yeah,
capture the moment and then be in the moment and just kind of, accept what you write today is what you write today. And then,
I'm just like constantly having to tell myself that, too, which is fine.
also good wisdom.
Cass, any?
Yes.
I would probably say just like remember to really love music, because I always forget that. And like the biggest reset that I always do is just like listening to an album that I like or a new album. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, I do like this.
Yeah.
I can carry on doing it.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
I mean, we can't get better than just love music. I think that's
Yeah.
that should be our slogan.
You got to start there. Yeah.
And then finally, we ask all of our guests to recommend a song that they've been enjoying by perhaps another kind of up and coming artist. I think you've got one lined up. If you would introduce.
This is like a dear friend of mine from LA named Rain, and she just put out a song called, I think it's called To You, and it literally came out last week, so I thought this was perfect timing. But it's so good, and she hasn't put stuff out in a while, and we live in different places. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but this was like such a pleasant way to be like, oh wow, she's doing the thing, and it is so brilliant. It was produced by my friend Clyde, who you know, and it's just fantastic. It's like the production is so like dry and close, and it just feels like everything is like right, like you're really in the room, and it's got a great melody, and I don't know, it's awesome. It's really, really great.
No,
yeah.
it really
I
is
just
excellent. So let's hear a little bit of that now.
I'm not too shy to say you mean the world to me. No change could change it. I'll set you off to sea and let you know that I'll be sitting here waiting. I'd love nothing more than to see us change and grow. Still by your side. Parallels of butterflies.
Marvelous. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Glowworms. Is there anything else? Obviously, we've got the new single, which, as this is being broadcast into people's ears, should be out. Trenchcoat. Anything else that you'd like to promote or point people towards in the weeks and months ahead?
I'll just say that we're going to be, I think at the time this is coming out, we'll have some London shows coming up. So if you're around in the city, come see us, come say hi.
Yeah. We got
and
the George.
the George will be supporting Cordelia Gardside, who's fantastic, at the end of June. And then, also for anyone who's like, wants to not be on Instagram and wants to not do it that way, we have a website, which is a lot of fun, and there's a mailing list on there if you want to stay updated. So that's just theglowworms.com.
Oh,
super easy.
nice and simple.
Yeah, that's all we got, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Stay tuned.
that's all you
Yeah.
need. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck with the new single, and see you soon.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
for
for
having
having
us.
us.
Oh,
A lot of
thank
fun.
you.
Yeah.
And there we have it. Thank you very much for listening to New Sounds Union. If you'd like to get in touch, drop us an email at newsoundsunion@gmail.com, or of course, you can find us via the New Sounds Union Substack. And don't forget, you can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and if you're feeling really generous, you can leave us a review. Thank you very much.